Friday night, well, Saturday Night Live goes. Does it look like I'm super far back? Whoa, banging into this shit, yeah. Um, what's up, people? Welcome. Dr. Antonio Duardo, a chiropractor and um, wellness way practitioner, basically focused in all things health restoration, coming at you live. Almost 9 p.m. on Saturday night, and this may or may not be cut short due to a sourdough recipe that I'm currently making. But we will see how it goes. Um, which in 30 minutes I got to do stretch and folds, according to another YouTube video, which I've been using to help me along here. And it's a rice based sourdough. Let's just be clear, no wheat is being utilized or harmed in the events of this recipe and will never be used, probably ever again, because the wheat in our country is horrible. But I'll wait for you guys to start popping in here, and then we will get cracking with the questions that you've submitted to me over the past couple hours last night. A bunch of you reached out to the email that I provided you guys in the previous live. Um, I'm looking at my computer here, in case you can't see it. But yes, let us get this party started. It's like we got a couple people jumping in at the moment, and we have crossed 400 subscribers here on the YouTube platform, which is fantastic. And I know a bunch of you guys have been requesting that I do more of a long form video on very tailored and specific subjects. So that may be toward the future here in time to come. But awfully bright here. Camera or lights are a little bit close, but let's get cracking. How about we? Okay. You don't drink out of mason jars, you're doing it wrong. All right. Very first question. Why do I get why do I always get sick after I finally take a vacation? I experienced some of this too. There can be multiple reasons because of the traveling too, but honestly, when you are under a ton of stress and you keep pushing through that stress and your cortisol keeps going, as soon as you slow down a bit and your body kind of catches a break for a minute, that shield drops. So your immune system will finally cash that check, so to speak. And that, immediate labs to be doing, I love looking at stress hormones. I love looking at cortisol. I love looking at something like an immune panel because that gives you not only look of those stress hormones, but then checks on vitamin D and then checks on those natural killer cells, T cells, B cells, all the beautiful reactions that fight off our antigens. And um, what to be doing in that short term there if you are traveling, something like reishi mushroom, not only for the effects that you get on those T cells and the natural killer cells and the blood sugar effects and um, the effects in the GI and also hormonal conversions. Reishi mushroom, dominant mushroom. Um, but you will also get a few of those constituents that work on the HPA axis within the brain. So if somebody's traveling and they're getting sick or just need to regulate that circadian rhythm, reishi mushroom, fantastic for something like that. But yeah, you're not unlucky. Your body's like finally figuring out how to de-stress, and unfortunately, once you do that de-stress, do you're gonna get sick. So common, but not normal. Why do my lips crack no matter how much water I drink? So cracked lips aren't always about water as much as they are mineral intake and even some fatty acids there too. So without sodium and potassium and zinc coming in through good good mineral intake, whether it be salts or something like a medicinal mushroom, which is going to be jam packed with a lot of those minerals. But for cracked lips, I like something like from Sun Foods, which you can get on Amazon. They're basically cacao or not cacao nibs, but cacao butter. So chocolate butter that comes in a little disc, and you basically just rub it on like chapstick, and boom, now you don't have chapped lips all the time, and you get that fatty acid bilayer, and you get the minerals within that chocolate too. Um, but yeah, I mean, you can get very affordable labs on just looking at the electrolyte balances, red and white blood cells, and some of those cofactors there too. So hydrate, of course, but we can't forget about the mineral uptake as well. So next one, why do my eyelids twitch randomly? So it's not so random. Usually, this is going to be a sign of either magnesium or calcium uh, leading to some imbalance there. And I lean toward the magnesium factors. And that's really from the elevated stress mentally, having an effect on the adrenal glands, having an effect on magnesium levels, because when you're stressed out like crazy, magnesium is going to deplete. So, magnesium glycinate just to target some of the muscle tissue there more than anything else. Um, but you can have that checked through labs as well. That twitching though it's not random. It's for a good reason. You're probably stressing out, and either that or you're lacking some sleep there. So that could totally be a factor as well. Um, but it depends on the individual. And then why do my gums bleed when I brush? So gum tissue is kind of a window into how things are doing systemically. And if you don't believe me, ask your dentist, because most dentists that are like awesome dentists out there, even biological dentists, will connect the teeth and the gum tissue to the rest of the body there. So you will have, if you have poor oral health, you can have poor immune system health, you can have poor GI health, you can have poor cardiac health there as well. So if your mouth is inflamed, odds are you are too. Um, but vitamin C, holy crap, vitamin C, highest bioavailable source of vitamin C is going to come from adrenal tissue. So that is by far the best thing that you could be doing for something like bleeding gums. There are cases where you are blushing, brushing a little bit too hard, and of course not flossing. To those of you out there that do not floss, freaking start flossing, man. I floss every day. Sorry if I bumped the mic there for a second. I floss every day, not twice a day, but once a day, um, because you will do great benefits over the long term and not have to rely on a dentist scraping your freaking mouth out every 6 months. So, but I always encourage people to go to a biological dentist. It's a little bit harder to find through insurance depending on the states that you're in. Um, but yeah, vitamin C, make sure you're not deficient in key essential nutrients there, which is extremely common. Um, don't believe me? I'll show you some labs for thousands of people that are pretty much all deficient there. So, mm, cooking up some of these questions. We got a bunch in here. Like I said, though, I have a sourdough being risen right now. So every 30 minutes, you got to do stretches and folds to build up the gluten matrix for that bread to rise nice and pretty. I'm making a focaccia bread. So if you couldn't tell if I was Italian yet, I certainly am. But either way, why do I get a headache every time a storm is coming? Very interesting. Somebody asked this about their joints hurting when, it's close to raining or there's rain incoming. And this is for a good reason. This is not just for no reason at all. But the headache, very similar to when joints are inflamed, pressure in the air is going to change. Barometric pressure is going to be changing. So outside of the body, the air temperature, barometric pressure changing in the air will change the fluid pressure within the cranial cavity. So, but that's for joint tissue, that's for pretty much all throughout the body there, and you're affecting fluid balance of the brain and sinuses that only have so much room to give. So now barometric pressure increases, and your cells are going to be expanding, and there's only so much room within the cranium and the sinuses, and you're going to feel a ton of that pressure. So, in a physical sense, there's some SOT techniques from certain chiropractors that you can go to, but I think more than anything, there is a huge chemical stressor that we have to figure out. And maybe it's not a one huge chemical stressor, it is more than likely made up of a bunch of tiny chemical stressors added up, this being air quality of both the outside air and the air inside your home, and then plus the food coming into your system too. So small changes like that feel like you're being hit in the head with a hammer, um, which is very real. I'm somebody that doesn't suffer from a ton of headaches, but I know a ton of people that do, and it is not fun at all. Um, Key labs to be looking at: where are your histamine sources coming from, especially in regards to food, which food is a huge portion of this because food's emotional, guys. Um, every weekend, patients are pretty much making all the mistakes because they want to relieve some stress from the week, which I get. Um, but looking for histamine sources through labs, food allergies are key essential place to be looking for those things. Checking something like CRP as well. And of course, all the regular things, blood sugars, your CBC, the differential, and all those key essential things that pretty much everyone has done, but just expanding on that even more so. Um, Something like Albizia in the short term because it has major effects on both histamine and the cranial cavity too, basically reducing swelling because it's a very potent antihistamine. And this is something natural. It's an herb that you could be using there. Um, but it's not only the weather, okay? It's how inflamed your body is. And it's reacting to that weather as well because it's another stress being put on the body that your body's like, oh, I can't take it anymore. So, heck yeah. How we doing? Not too many people on here for a Saturday Night Live. Ooh, ooh. I need to get a soundboard as well. I think it would be hilarious if I got a soundboard. Um, Probably gonna maybe make one tonight. See what we can do there. But okay, what do I bruise so easily? Bruising usually poor um, collagen repair a lot of the time, low vitamin C counts, even vitamin K as well. So sometimes you're also sluggish there. Um, Possibly even platelets within the bloodstream, or there's some type of liver pathway that's off, or you're having some GI issues there too. I would just start simply by covering your deficiencies. That is the easiest way and the most cost effective way to start this process. Um, and maybe even looking at something like a CBC, something like vitamin C, vitamin K, your liver enzymes. Very affordable, simple blood work that you could be doing there. Um, Also, taking in some collagen within different forms. Try and mix it up between type 1, type 2, type 3. And again, that vitamin C mark from the adrenal tissue that you could be getting. I hate seeing people get, vitamin C, and then I look at the ingredients there and it's derived from corn. That drives me up a wall because they're like, oh my goodness, I've been taking Emergency from CVS. And it's like, oh, goodness, that's not what we should be doing there. But yeah, easy bruising. This is not like bad luck. It's more of a weak connective tissue repair system. That's why I mentioned the platelets and the micronutrients that can be associated with that too. So, why do I crave salt all the time? So, sometimes salt cravings can be associated with something like insufficient hormonal levels within the adrenal glands. Um, so, when something like cortisol or even aldosterone is off, your body kind of begs you in different ways and starts to give you signs of these things. So for sodium to keep blood pressure nice and stable, you're gonna need good, adequate amounts of adrenal hormone. So obviously checking things like cortisol. I love doing something like a Dutch test or just the Dutch adrenal, um, but maybe a mix of blood work and urine testing there because you can know kind of which of those scenarios is occurring. But it's very real, and I don't think people are taking in enough salt throughout the day. Usually around 3 to 5, maybe even 6 grams a day. Grams. So in terms of milligrams, we're talking thousands of milligrams of salt per day. Um, but yeah, the salt cravings, simple deficiency there that you can cover. Doing something like Celtic sea salt is going to impact you significantly, um, and give you a good place to start. So, heck yeah. And this, actually, this next one, I've heard from a lot of people. A lot of people. Little, little sip there. Um, like I said, this one I've heard from a lot of people, and even women in menopausal years, oddly enough. But why do my Muhammad says, "What's up with you, my boy? Just sitting here doing a little Saturday Night Live, um, waiting for my sourdough to do another 30-minute round so I could do some stretch and folds there, um, and make a beautiful focaccia bread. But what's your major? I am a doctor of chiropractic and practitioner for the Wellness Way, basically doing all things health restoration from a holistic standpoint, figuring out not diagnoses, that's germ theory, but figuring out terrain theory and how to get people to reduce enough stressors by running adequate labs and then figuring out either deficiencies or things that are in excess that you need to move either in or out of the body to get your body to heal itself, which it very well can, especially using herbal medicines and things alongside of that. So, my undergrad major was in athletic training, and that's actually what brought me to the chiropractic world because I was working on a lacrosse athlete and she had a shoulder problem. And lacrosse is very much a one sided sport. So I deployed every single technique that I knew for this woman, and nothing changed. I was so defeated. So we called in our team chiropractor, and I went to King's College. I'm here in the US. Um, and this chiropractor, literally one little maneuver, and all her stuff was completely gone. And I was like, oh my goodness, what am I missing here? So that's what made me go to chiropractic school with my dear friend there. What are your favorite supplements? Ooh, um, that's a great question. I love astragalus. I love reishi mushroom. I love kava. Um, those are going to be very different in terms of their effects there because you're going to have probably the most body-wide effects from that astragalus. And next would be the reishi mushroom. Third being kava, which is strictly just a stress herb there that I use on a lot of people. California poppy as well, but it's just a personal favorite of mine. Cool question though. Heck yeah. I actually got to add some salt to that water too. Let me check the timer on this sourdough here as we're waiting. You know what's annoying? This computer chair that I'm in used to not squeak, and now it's squeaking like crazy, and it's driving me nuts. So that's annoying. But either way, all right, we got plenty of time here. Um, but yes. And then this person asks from my email questions, why do my ears ring at night? Tinnitus, so that's like the fancy term. Tinnitus, you're typically going to see that when there are a couple things going on. Something like a blood sugar issue, easily, easily, because that, especially when insulin becomes resistant, you're going to get vasoconstriction of many different tissues, and you're going to affect nervous tissue as well. So, the cranial nerves that affect the ear, also high stress, Very common thing that you could see going on there, or nerve irritation of the upper cervical spine. Um, so easily looking at things, taking an X-ray, or doing simple blood work to figure out which of those scenarios is occurring. Maybe something like ginkgo, which is probably the best not only herb out there, but also the constituents found within there, very close to gotu kola. But in terms of the brain and the nervous system tissue, having an effect there on brain derived nerve growth factors and also vasodilation and even repair of blood cells there, ginkgo biloba blows pretty much everything out of the water. Um, but yeah, the ears ringing, that's not just from like physical damage to the eardrum itself. There's more to it too there, but tinnitus or ears ringing at night, so common. Um, I think you could do things physically by taking stress off, seeing a chiropractor, easy things that you could be doing there. But ginkgo biloba in itself is a beautiful herb to combat some of those things. So Muhammad says I'm using omega 3s, D3 with K2, or you said K12. I think he meant K2, and then B12 in there. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. A nice thing to be starting out on. Yeah, I think you could get magnesium too. You can get um, a lot of that magnesium from something like cacao, and you can get a lot of those B vitamins by doing an organ meat or like a liver capsule. Just make sure that your sourcing is very good on that, grass fed, grass finished as possible. And then even the omega 3s could be coming from like cod liver oil, just making sure that you're getting the best things. Taking Dr. Mike energy from you. Hmm. Dr. Mike, you mean the medical guy? He's like similar hair, always in scrubs. Is that who you're talking about? And then Nas is back. What's up, Nas? How we doing? Trying to do some more YouTube lives here, and I'm debating on heading over to Rumble. Um, for those of you that don't know, I'm typically doing these lives on TikTok, just because TikTok has a very high growth platform in itself. It's very clear of that matter. But YouTube and Rumble allow me to kind of not just sit there and argue with people all day long, which freaking drives me crazy sometimes. But Nas says it is cold. I'm doing good. What about you? I'm doing pretty well too. As I've told Muhammad already, I am making a little sourdough focaccia bread. So stay tuned for that, depending on how well it goes. I may or may not post about it, depending on the quality of this damn bread and how well it rises, which things are looking up after a few stretches and folds just to get that bread dough to start fluffing up a bit. But pretty darn beautiful so far, you know? So far. Either way, I look tired. I mean, it's the end of the day here. We got 9 p.m. But no, not really tired at all. Um, I'm surprised you say that. I guess my eyes are pretty small, you know? Either way, we are currently at 405 subscribers. Let me check it again. Go ahead, like and share up the live if possible. Yep, look at that. Sitting at 405 subscribers and counting. So we are close to hitting 500, which is the goal. We're almost there, my friends. We're getting there little by little. A little party signal. Hell yeah, dude. We're getting there. We are getting there. Like the live up if possible, people. Very much appreciated. You could be anywhere else in the world, but you are here with me, and I love it. Um, I will post my email in the chat. Oh. I'm going to put my email in here for those of you that say you're not comfortable putting something in the chat, or maybe you have some labs that you want me to see and go over from a natural perspective here, I will certainly do that. So let me know, and I will certainly do it. Mohammed's back. He says, I want to take Magtine, magnesium, but that shit is so expensive. It can be. Why did it pin my thing twice there? Or is that just showing up weird for me? I think it's just showing up weird. Yeah, I mean, there's different forms of magnesium depending on what you're looking for. And honestly, there may be better routes to do that depending on what we need to be doing, what you're deficient in, what you are trying to get rid of, and what stressors you're trying to combat. Because, I mean, magnesium is pretty widely available in a lot of different food groups. Um, I could send you a free guide on magnesium rich foods if you contact me through the email there for the brain. Yeah, in terms of, most bioavailable and best sources to support brain activity there, I call it kind of the trifecta: Bacopa, Ginkgo, and Gotu Kola by far. And you can maybe even throw in lion's mane mushroom in there too. Any form of magnesium is going to crumble under those three or four that I just gave you. So very different there. Um, but yes, so oh my goodness, somebody just liked the live. Thank you very much. We got 3 likes and counting. So look at that. But hey, beautiful stuff. And shoot, I gotta post another video here too. Thank you though, guys. It means a lot. Trying to grow the platforms. Sorry for burping. I think that's pretty gross. Smash the like button. Exactly. What's the riff that the YouTubers typically do? Smash the like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Is that the 3 that they usually do? I'm not just on here to farm likes, I'm here to provide value because I believe personally that if you provide good value to the world, that's what comes back around. Like and subscribe. That's the good old twofer. Wombo combo right there. Like and subscribe. Beautiful stuff though. On to our next question here. Kind of a side tangent. I want to get a soundboard. Actually, maybe you guys could help me out. Let's see. I'm going to go on my iPad here and see what we can find in terms of possibly a soundboard that I can hook up to a speaker here. Soundboard. I think this would be hilarious. Oh wow, there's a meme soundboard already created. This has got to be good. Let's see. I'm downloading it right now. I think that this would just make lives way more funny. And I love humor. I love comedy, crying out loud. So I think it would be freaking hilarious. We're halfway downloaded. We'll see what memes this soundboard has. I'm kind of excited right now because I think it would be freaking hilarious. Ooh, Muhammad, cool question here. I'm curious about your opinion on people like Brian Johnson. Is his blueprint really scientific or is he a fraud? I mean, he's doing research on himself and I think a couple other people and trying to cut the cost of things and just give you like real practical things. I do think that there is some good value to that. I think it gets a little crazy when you're like bloodletting with your younger son and stuff like that. But the general principles do make sense, promoting good sleep. Like for crying out loud, if you're not sleeping correctly, we got some problems. All right, what's this one? I'm not sure at which point. We're not monetized on here anyways, so um, there's a lot of there's a lot of memes that I don't know here. What the? Can you hear this well, or is it? I'll get a speaker.
What's up, brother?
Plankton meme. You gotta have the plankton meme, you know. Nas says LMAO. There's a lot. There's a lot in here. You gotta like the Fetty Wap though. The Fetty Wap speaker. It's so muffled though. Probably be better if I didn't use a mic, but I'm actually generating some crazy ideas now, folks. I have a JBL speaker that I could put right behind the phone here, make it a good time. It's just that there's so many memes on this thing. I know we're getting kind of sidetracked. This is a health live, right? Um, what's this one? It's censored. But Nas, let me know how well you can hear this.
Today, I'll be talking about one of humanity's biggest fears. My mother ain't fried.
These are freaking stupid. I'm having too much fun with this.
What's up, brother?
To the haters,
What's up, brother?
here, this might be a little bit easier. To all the haters,
What's up, brother?
I gotta get a podcast mic too. 90 out of 10 or 90 out of 100. That's pretty good. I mean, I'm surprised that the sound's that good. I thought it would be a freaking train wreck, to be honest. Muhammad says, "Dude, what the f are you doing?" I'm currently looking at a free soundboard in order to tag this with like what I'm saying, and as we go through the live, make it much more funny.
Metro Boomin, make it boom.
But it only makes it funny if you know what these things are about, you know? And I probably shouldn't be looking down at you guys. So let me go like this. I'm going to scooch this guy over. Move my little mouse in here. Make some room. Go like this. There's way too many on here, folks. Normal, control, custom. Control, custom. I just sent you a comment. You ignored it. No, I didn't. Did it get filtered? Sometimes that happens. The last comment I have from you, Muhammad. Okay, good. It's still on. Muhammad, the last comment I have from you is, dude, what TF are you doing? That's the last one I see. And then Nas said he didn't ignore it, and then he didn't react. I reacted. I mean,
Call me asparagus.
oh, that's a good one.
Call me asparagus.
When people are dumb as hell.
Call me asparagus.
That one's too good. No, not that one. Yeah, I bet, Muhammad, I bet that a comment got filtered, my friend. If that's what you're seeing. unfortunately, that a comment may have been filtered here, which is super gay.
Obama.
These are so cringe with the sound on some of them.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
To Muhammad, this one's for you.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy. Okay.
Oh man, I'm gonna have so much fun with this. I write that before. Yeah, I don't know what you mean, my man.
Hello, Bozo.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy. Okay.
Snap back to reality. Snap back to reality.
Nas says, "Oh my god, I don't know what to do. Bed bugs are biting my legs. Holy moly, that is very unfortunate." Um, man, in terms of bed bugging on you, um, I would search to see if there's an essential oil that they really don't like. That would be my best bet right there. Um, but hey, guys, I'm gonna do some stretch and folds on my sourdough in 30 minutes. So I want to make sure that I do that. And then I'm going to hop over to TikTok. So um, after I answer Muhammad's last question,
Let's go.
um, exercise and diet are already fundamental. Beyond these, he takes many drugs that are highly controversial, especially in medical contexts. They can cause serious problems. So that I think you're talking about the Mike guy, right? From before. I just want to see if you mentioned if it was Dr. Mike or a different guy. Yeah, Dr. Mike. So do you mean the big jacked guy? Um, oh, you're talking about Brian Johnson. Yeah, I know. There's definitely controversial things. I'm not sure if I'm along with all of the things that he's doing because there are some controversial things in there. And when it comes to kind of pushing the envelope or even doing things that are a little too crazy for me, um, I like to base everything off of food structuring, lifestyle means, and really supplementation or other techniques that you could be doing there. Things like inversion tables, rebounders, saunas, and stuff like that. I think he gets a little bit crazy with those things, but um, I got to do some more stretch and folds on this bread here. So I'm gonna hop over. I don't believe he will live forever. It's just part of human nature. We all degrade at some point, which is pretty dark and terrible, but it's true. So, but either way, good stuff. Um, but I'm going to tend to this sourdough, and I will be on TikTok for another round of lives after I create a little custom soundboard here, and hopefully we get it pretty darn set up. So, thank you guys for joining. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me, and stay tuned. So, good stuff. See you guys.